Welcome to Just Start, Get Visible, your go-to resource of the journey to becoming more visible in a way that feels right for you. Hey there. Welcome back to yet another episode of Just Start, Get Visible. It's Jacqueline here. And of course, I'm looking forward to our time together today. Throughout our entire month of May, we're talking about a big one. We're talking about an act that when most people get right, things feel lighter, things feel more connected, and life gets a little bit simpler. And that's consistency. But I want to start here because you don't need a big moment to be visible, right? Which is what we talk about here on the Just Start Get Visible podcast. You actually need a smaller start because so many of us are waiting, right? When's the last time you thought, you know what, I'm going to wait until the right whatever. I'm going to wait until the next quarter to start. When in fact, starting small, as I've talked about in previous episodes, is actually a lot more sustainable, right? A lot of us wait to feel ready. A lot of us wait to have something important enough to say. A lot of us wait for the right opportunity, the right timing, the right level of confidence. And while you're waiting, you're also staying invisible. And so we're going to talk this entire month about consistency. But today, particularly, we're going to go a lot deeper on your opportunity to not have a big moment to start, but instead recognizing and accepting that you need a small start, and a small start can benefit you tremendously. So let's dive in, okay? A lot of us have fallen prey to the big moment trap, okay? So let's talk about this big moment trap. The idea that visibility should be tied to something significant, right? Maybe thinking like this, like I'll speak up when I'm more prepared, or I'll speak up when I have something major to share, or I'll speak up or I'll post when everything is fully figured out. And this shows up everywhere in our life, right? It shows up in meetings where you have a thought, but you don't say it. And it shows up in your work where you contribute, but you don't fully own your voice, right? You may say it like somebody else says it. And yep, it even shows up online, of course, when you don't post whatever it is that you want to post because it doesn't feel big enough. Oh, this person had this post or they posted that and it was big. So mine isn't that big. So I'm not going to post or share. And here is the honest truth. Big moments feel safer because some of us feel like they justify our visibility. They give us a reason to show up, but they also delay it. They delay our opportunity to share sometimes the even more meaningful things that allow us to be consistent, so we just don't share it. Most people who are visible, they didn't wait for their big moment. They started showing up before they felt ready. And so I want to ask you, are you doing that? Right? Do you have scenarios where you say, I'm going to speak up when I'm more prepared, so you stay quiet in meetings? Do you have situations where you say, I'll share when I have something major, so you don't post or contribute? Do you wait for the right moment instead of using the moment that you already have? Do big moments feel safer, right? Because they justify visibility, but they also delay it, right? The truth is that most people become visible because they showed up well before they felt fully ready. And so I want to ask you and challenge you, particularly over this month of May, are you right now in your big moment trap, which can be online and also in the room, okay? And let's talk about what starting small could actually look like, right? Everywhere that you show up, because you may be thinking, okay, I want to start small. I'm with it, Jacqueline. I'm on board, but you don't know what that actually looks like. So it's not about big moments, right? So what does it actually look like to start? The small start is simple. It's not necessarily polished. It's not necessarily perfect. It's not necessarily overthought. It's participation. It's the art of showing up. It's speaking once in a meeting when you would normally stay quiet. And you know, when I say speak once in a meeting when you would normally stay quiet, what I'm really trying to say is I'm not just saying talk to talk, because a lot of us have been in meetings before where you're just like, that person didn't really have nothing meaningful to add. They were just talking to talk. But you practicing the art of speaking up once in a meeting when you would normally stay quiet, it at least gives you that experience to start speaking up or to know what it even feels like. It's asking a question instead of sitting back, particularly if you have a question, because you may be thinking, I have this question, but somebody else is going to ask it, or I'll wait later and ask that question offline when the floor has been open. Does anyone have any questions? It's also sharing a thought online without turning it into a full production. Has that ever happened where you went to share something and then you went to triple check it, which, checking is fine from a factual standpoint, but then you perfected it, you ran it through all these word processors. Of course, you want to see that it's spelled right, but literally now has it turned into a 6-hour activity when we could have simplified this in a major way, right? It's also explaining what you do without minimizing it. Have you ever downplayed your position or downplayed your expertise or your perspective on something? And it could even look like this. It could look like you spent a lot of time on a project or a lot of time on something, and that didn't take that long. That wasn't that much work, right? Instead of there was meaningful effort and investment in time that was put into this as a statement of what your work and what your impact or your value is. And so a small start could be any of those things. A small start is choosing to show up, right? Just a little more than you did before. Not a complete overhaul, but just a little more than you did before, right? So it's thinking about in a meeting, did I share one perspective instead of saying silent? It's thinking about in work, asking a thoughtful question or offering even an idea, because you probably have a unique perspective on things that you're not sharing. It's online, right? It's posting a simple insight instead of turning it into this massive, fully polished production that somebody might look at once, right, and never look at again. No, I'm not saying be sloppy about it. I'm not saying make sure that it's not factual, but I'm just saying let's not turn it into a full production. In conversation, it also is speaking about your work clearly instead of downplaying it. This didn't take that much time, when it actually could have taken you a long time. It is all rooted in knowing or accepting that a small start is choosing participation over perfection. It is showing up. And it leads us into our number 3, which is why small repeated actions build real visibility. And I've mentioned this before in terms of how I choose to show up consistently from a podcast standpoint, from sharing insights on LinkedIn for our leadership area, our newsletter that we produce and release every single week. There are these small repeated actions that build real visibility versus turning things into a huge production each and every day, each and every week. And so let's talk about why small repeated actions build real visibility. Visibility is not built in one moment. And so if we are falling prey to this notion, if I don't have anything big to share, then I won't share anything, that takes you out of your opportunity and to show up multiple times instead of feeling like I built visibility in just one moment. It's actually built in patterns, because people don't remember one time that you spoke up or one time that you showed up or one time that you were visible. They remember that you consistently contribute to whatever. And consistently, I don't want you to get tripped up here. Consistently doesn't mean that you're doing this every day or even every week, but it's defining what consistency looks like for you and contributing and also committing to that. People don't remember one post, right? They remember that you showed up regularly, whatever regularly means to you. And over time, something shifts. This exact thing happened. I have a follower, actually somebody that follows me, and I also follow them. And they're really into sneakers. And I didn't even know that they were into sneakers, quite frankly. I remember them from the photography world. Her name is Sarah. And Sarah and I have worked together in the photography space before. And I noticed that she started posting about gym shoes, about sneakers. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know she was into that. But then over time, I just noticed this very consistent level and regularity in her posting about gym shoes. And I was like, oh, she's actually really into this. And so now whenever I see anyone else collecting gym shoes, when I see anything else about, sneakerheads, I think about her, right? So if I was ever anywhere and I saw that somebody was looking for speakers, maybe women speakers that collect shoes, I would think, oh, totally got to call Sarah, right? Because she's implanted this notion in my mind that she is into that, and she posts with a level of regularity where I recognize her for that. Otherwise, I would have been thinking like she's a photographer and never would have thought of her in that space over time. And so that's that little shift of showing up, and that is her version of showing up. And so showing up doesn't always mean showing up in a way that other people do, but in a way that feels right for you, that allows you to be recognized and connected to a space, an expertise, or even an interest, okay? You go from being someone who is present, right, to someone who is recognized, not just because you had one big moment, but because people have experienced you showing up over and over and over again. And that's how credibility is built. That's how visibility grows. That's how you get into a space of truly being seen and recognized. It takes a level of consistency. Small, repeated action builds real visibility, okay? People don't remember one moment. They usually remember patterns. And visibility grows when people consistently experience you showing up. And what that could look like in work is you becoming known for contributing, not just observing. All right, does anybody else have any other perspectives and you're hiding out in the back? But do you have a perspective and you're just not, right? Because you haven't conditioned yourself to be comfortable in doing so. Online, what that could look like is you become recognizable because you keep showing up, right? Momentum truly comes from repetition, not from one standing moment. So you post one time, you show up one time. Do you think that the world's going to shift and everybody's going to think, oh, you are an influencer in this space. You're a thought leader in this space. No, but if you keep showing up, they certainly will. Okay. Now let's talk about how we can redefine what counts as showing up. Okay. Because you might be thinking, you might go back to, well, I did it one time and now what? So let's truly redefine what counts as showing up. Okay. And I think where we need to shift our thinking is that visibility is not just being seen online. And I know that over the past few years, decade or so, that might feel not true. That might feel like, okay, if I'm not showing up there, then that's not visible overall. And I appreciate that I believe that the tides are turning a bit with presence and what presence means. Because certainly if I have a dinner party and people are over my home, even if there's no technology involved, like the fact that people raise their hand and say, yep, I'm coming, I'm being present, I want to be there, like it's meaningful. Sometimes it's even more meaningful than quickly hopping online, right, and passively doing other things. So remember that visibility is not just about being seen online. It's about your presence. It's about your voice. It's about your participation. And more poignantly, it's how you show up in rooms. It's how you contribute to conversations, whether they're virtually or online. And it's how you allow yourself to be experienced by other people. And not every moment, right, has to be impressive to matter. It could just be a simple acknowledgement of something, right? It could be you giving kudos to somebody else. You decide to show up. They did a good job. You said something about it, right? That matters. So some of your most important visibility moments, they will feel small, but that doesn't mean that small doesn't count. Like small matters, but they're building something, right? They're building self-trust in your ability to show up. They're helping you to move truly from, I think I can do this, to this is just how I show up. And when we say just get visible in a way that feels right for you, that's what I mean. Is it meaningful to you? Does it feel good to you? So I want you to redefine what counts as showing up, because visibility is not just posting, right? It's presence, it's voice, it's participation. And not every moment has to be impressive, right? What the world deems to be impressive, or maybe even what you have historically deemed to be impressive. It just needs to be impactful, and impactful in a way that you define it. Showing up builds self-trust, right? This belief and confidence that, yep, I can do this, right? And I can do this becomes I do this, all right? It's practice on the road to become more confident and trusting yourself with the ability to do so. And you don't need permission to contribute. You just need practice doing it. How can I go from, I'm in the background to I raise my hand, right? And I acknowledge the feelings around, that may have been uncomfortable, but I did it. I say all the time when I speak, like there's a level of discomfort. And it's because I strongly believe in respecting and honoring people's time. But I had to practice. I had to have this craft and this consistency with showing up to know I can do this, even if sometimes there's some discomfort with it. The real win is not the reaction. So be careful with feeling like, I didn't get enough applauses because I showed up. It's that you showed up yet again. Okay. And when you do that, right, you give yourself an opportunity to practice, right, and show up again and again and again. And I want you to have a simple way for this to come into action this week. So let me give you just some real quick pointers along the lines of how you can have a simple way to start just this week. Okay. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to choose just one space. Okay. One space. Yes, there could be a million different spaces you can choose, but I just want you to choose one space where you've been holding back. And maybe it's meetings, maybe it's conversations, maybe you know that it's online overall. And I want you to take just one small action. One small action. Speak once. Okay? Share once. Post once. That's it. Don't overthink it. Don't try to make it perfect. Just do it. And the next week, do it again. Now remember, do it meaningful. Don't be a person that's just like, I want to talk just to talk. If you have something meaningful to say it, right? If you have a question, ask it. But don't say, oh no, like I'm just not going to do it. Because this is how visibility is built, not in one big moment, but in how you keep showing up, how you consistently show up when you have meaningful things to say, right? So just choose one space where you've been holding back. Remember, that could be meetings, that could be online, that could be, even social conversations that you have. And I just want you to commit to one small action, one comment, one post, one share. That's it. Let's not overthink the outcome. Okay. I want you to focus on completing the action and then repeat it again. Repeat it again next week. And over time, you build up this muscle to be even more consistent with what it is and how you're showing up. I want you to let visibility become something that you do, not something that you wait for, waiting for the right moment, waiting for the perfect situation. I want you to say, yeah, I do this. Like I show up. I feel comfortable in this way showing up, and therefore I'm going to, all right? I'm not asking for perfection, which I never do. I just asked you to commit to becoming visible in a way that feels right for you. Now, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, all right, now I've been holding back, whether that's at work, in your content, because a lot of us are in the content space, whether personally or professionally, or just in how you show up, right? I want you to know that you don't have to figure this out on your own. I'm actually doing something that we haven't done in quite some time. I'm opening up space for new conversations where we can talk through where you are, what visibility actually looks like for you, and what your next small start could be. I want you to get visible in a way that feels right for you. No pressure, no performance, just a real conversation to help you move forward. I know a lot of us are in a space where we're reevaluating a lot of things. Do I want to show up there? Where do I want to show up? Do I love what I'm doing? Do I love how I'm showing up? What's the perception of my overall visibility? Do I like that? Do I not? And I really want to talk to somebody about that. So if you're ready to stop waiting for a big moment and actually start showing up in meaningful ways, why don't you reach out and let's talk? And I'm making it easy for you. Just send me an email. info@jacquelinembaker.com. That's all I want you to do. Casually send me an email and say, hey, Jacqueline, I need some support here. I'm ready to just start and get visible in a way that feels right for me, but I need a little support in doing that. And I got you. All right. So listen, wherever you're at in the world, I hope that you're safe. I hope that you're healthy, and I hope that you're well. And I certainly hope that you're giving yourself permission to start the things that you want to do because you deserve it. Don't forget, there's an opportunity for you to reach out to connect over at info@jacquelinembaker.com. And I look forward to helping you with your starting journey. All right. You take care of yourself, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao.
Welcome to Just Start, Get Visible, your go-to resource of the journey to becoming more visible in a way that feels right for you.